Dillon Gabriel gets green light as Browns sideline Shadur Sanders in bold QB shift. Cleveland, Ohio, when the Cleveland Browns drafted Dillon Gabriel 94th overall. Few expected him to leapfrog one of college football's most popular quarterbacks so soon. But that's exactly what's happening as Gabriel, the former Oklahoma and UCF standout, has swiftly maneuvered his way to the front of the quarterback competition, leaving Shadur Sanders, the headline-grabbing son of Dillon coach Prime Sanders, watching from the sideline. What was supposed to be an open QB battle in Browns training camp is quickly becoming a clear endorsement of Gabriel. And while the official word from head coach Kevin Stefanski remains diplomatic, the actions behind closed doors and in open practices tell a more decisive story. S1 NFL insider quipped, Gabriel didn't just walk into Cleveland. He walked into an opportunity, and he's seizing every bit of it while Shedur's still trying to find the door. The unexpected rise of Dillon Gabriel. Dive into the team's DNA and find the solutions to a problem, Gabriel told reporters when asked how he handles expectations in the league. It's a motto that seems to perfectly define his journey thus far. He didn't arrive with the hype machine that followed Shadur Sanders. There were no viral workout videos, no endorsements trailing him, no headlines linking him to Coach Prime. Instead, what he brought was substance. A college resume of 18,722 yards and 155 touchdowns across multiple programs and a calm, cerebral approach to the game. The Browns had done their homework. According to internal sources, Gabriel had impressed team executives with his whiteboard work and defensive reads even before the draft. Some saw him as a long-term project. What they didn't expect, perhaps, was how quickly he would begin checking boxes in a room filled with uncertainty. As veteran Browns reporter Tony Grossi said on ESPN Cleveland's The Land on Demand, they exposed Gabriel to the #1 defense. Gave him more complicated stuff. From the neck up, he's a #1 pick. That last line sparked debate. Was it genuine praise or a polite way to say Gabriel's brain might be ahead of his arm? Either way, one thing was clear. In a room full of question marks, Gabriel looked like the answer Cleveland didn't know it needed. Shadur Sanders. From spotlight to shadows. By contrast, the arrival of Shadur Sanders in Cleveland was met with glitz, glamour, and headlines. After transferring from Jackson State to Colorado under his father's leadership, Shadur exploded onto the national stage, showing poise, accuracy, and a marketable charisma that few collegiate players could match. But the NFL isn't college, and the Browns aren't Colorado. While Sanders was projected as a potential day 2 pick, he slid into the later rounds of the draft, 2 spots behind Gabriel. That alone raised eyebrows. But what followed in minicamp and early training sessions has shifted the conversation dramatically. Sanders has yet to take a single first-team snap in open practice. When asked about this, Coach Stefanski offered a generic response. We're in installation phase. Not much to look into. But fans are looking, so are analysts. And what they see is telling. Gabriel taking reps with the first-team offense, building chemistry with starters, while Sanders works out with second or third stringers, often without a full defensive rush. It's hard not to read between the lines. The Browns quarterback equation. The Browns quarterback depth chart has been under scrutiny since the Deshaun Watson trade. Watson, still the de facto QB1, has yet to return to Pro Bowl form, while veterans like Jameis Winston and backup names hover in the background. That's why the arrival of 2 promising rookies, Gabriel and Sanders, sparked so much intrigue. But even before preseason action kicked off, insiders like Maggie Gray began reporting that the Browns were not tied to Shadur Sanders at all. On the Maggie and Perloff show, she stated bluntly, the messaging from the Browns was, this was a low risk, no risk. We're not tied to him at all. In other words, Sanders may be high profile, but he's expendable. The Browns aren't emotionally or financially committed. And if the depth chart demands cuts, he might be the first to go. It's a stunning reversal from the pre-draft narrative that had Sanders pegged as a top-tier quarterback prospect. Work ethic versus opportunity. To be fair, no one questions Sanders' effort. Offensive coordinator Tommy Rees spoke positively about the young quarterback, saying in June, he's really putting in a lot of work. You can see the game starting to slow down for him. Stefanski echoed similar sentiments. Both guys, Gabriel and Sanders, are in early, stay late. They're committed. But effort doesn't always translate into opportunity in the NFL. Sometimes it's about fit, scheme, and even optics. And while Sanders has the drive, it's Gabriel who's getting the stage. A Brown staffer anonymously shared. It's like a group project in college. Sanders is writing all the notes, but Gabriel's the one giving the presentation. Is the decision already made? For those paying close attention, it seems the Browns' quarterback pecking order is being quietly but definitively established. Gabriel isn't just getting snaps. He's being evaluated as the next in line, possibly even the QB2. For Sanders, his status appears more murky. Some speculate he could be a practice squad candidate. Others whisper that the Browns may cut him outright before final rosters are set. Such a decision would have major ramifications, not just for the team but for Coach Prime's reputation. The elder Sanders has spent years building his son's brands and championing their NFL readiness. A public setback like this could cast doubts, fair or not, on the entire Sanders football machine. But this isn't college football. This is a league built on merit, not marketing. A clash of styles. A clash of narratives. Gabriel and Sanders couldn't be more different, not just in playstyle but in public persona. Gabriel is the humble technician. Quiet, cerebral, fundamentally sound. He's the guy who gets up at 5 a.m., studies 60 pages of game tape, and calls it part of the job. Sanders, meanwhile, is the flashy competitor. Confident, charismatic. A modern-day quarterback for the TikTok generation, complete with endorsement deals, viral workouts, and brand awareness that rivals NFL veterans. But the NFL doesn't hand out playing time based on Instagram followers. And in Cleveland's locker room, performance is what matters. The road ahead. What's next for each QB? As preseason looms, both quarterbacks will have chances to make their cases. The Browns' coaching staff insists that nothing is final. But the reps don't lie. Gabriel is being groomed. He's being tested. And by all accounts, he's passing with flying colors. Sanders, meanwhile, must claw his way into visibility. His margin for error is thinner. Every throw, every read, every rep is magnified under the weight of expectation. And the ghost of his last name. It's not just about winning a job. It's about proving he belongs. Public reaction. Divided, passionate, and loud. Online, the debate rages. Sanders fans, many of whom followed him from Jackson State to Colorado, feel he's being disrespected. Give Shedeur a fair shot, one fan tweeted. He hasn't even gotten first-team reps. Others argue the opposite. This is the NFL, not a family business, another user wrote. If Gabriel's the better QB, then he deserves the spot. Even former players have weighed in. An unnamed AFC scout reportedly said, Shedeur's not being blackballed. He's being outplayed. Simple as that. The verdict isn't final yet. While it's tempting to crown Gabriel as Cleveland's next QB2 and write off Sanders, the reality is that training camp is long, and preseason games offer real chances to flip narratives. If Sanders can show his growth under live conditions, if he can outshine Gabriel in real-time situations, the tide could turn quickly. But for now, Gabriel holds the lead, and Sanders, for all his promise and pedigree, is playing catch-up. It's not personal. It's just football. Conclusion. A tale of two talents. In a league that demands instant results, both quarterbacks face unique pressure. Dillon Gabriel, the overlooked technician, is turning heads with his mental acuity and steady progress. Shedeur Sanders, the high-profile prodigy, finds himself facing a humbling test of patience and persistence. The Browns may have made their decision, or at least part of it, but the season hasn't started yet. And as every NFL fan knows, everything can change in a single snap.